Alright guys, how's it going everybody? Fishing California with EBA, and today we're breaking down Jenkinson Lake, aka Sly Park, California. We're going to talk about this little fishery we love not too far from our neck of the woods. So we love this fishery and we want to talk about it today. We're going to do a fishing report as we've been there multiple times in the last week. Myself, out there fishing, variety of techniques, variety of depths of water. Going, targeting smallmouth, spotted bass, largemouth bass, lake trout, mackinaw, as well as the rainbow trout. There's been some rainbow trout planted recently, and there's been actually a fair amount of plants this year of rainbow trout. However, keep in mind the plants, generally we're talking small juvenile trout in the 6 to 9 inch range roughly. Not anything large, not anything that has much meat, no tail. Not much of a fight, and definitely unable to really get a big chunk of power bait in their mouth. So just definitely, if you're out there fishing with power bait, make sure it's a small hook like a 16 or an 18. Make sure you're going with almost no power bait. You're going to want that 4-pound test type of situation. However, I'm going to break down the, what's going on, and what's going on right now is not a good trout bite. So the trout aren't biting very well. There is some surface activity, so you can figure there's trout here moving around, cruising. They're just not quite feeding on everything that, I'm seeing a lot of anglers on the bank, a lot of people, not a lot of fish being caught. So not a lot happening in that regard for the trout fishing. There are trout present, a lot of small juvenile trout. The bass bite's been really slow, and I think that's because we had a really interesting mix. We had that early rain, and in the October almost felt like we were in November, and then when we got into November, of course, it got warm. So got a whole different, opposite of what the norm would be this time of year. So right now the bass bite's been just a little bit off. The weather hasn't been consistent enough for there to be a real pattern. Not very good. So the lake trout, not good. Mackinaw has been decent, but not as good as I would expect it to be. Probably once again, this weather kind of going back and forth on us. The German browns are pretty much non-existent this year. I haven't heard anything except early in the year, very early. I haven't heard anything for a long time. So the fishing report for Jenkinson Lake is going to be bad, and I would say don't go out there and fish right now, regardless of the species you want to target. If you're a local and you know the water well, and just already there, it's in your backyard, it's different. But for most of us, if you're going out and you're trying to get on some fish, you're looking for the active water, and right now this is about the poorest I've seen it fish in a while. So bad fishing, Jenkinson Lake. Also some other changes having, to do with the park. Not very fond of those, neither is anybody else. But what are you going to do? Life goes on. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned.